The corridor was filled with smoke and sorrow. Amid flickering lights and the scent of burned metal, a figure stumbled forward, clutching a bundle to her chest. She wasn't human. Her violet skin shimmered under the emergency lights, and her eyes, huge and terrified, locked onto the armored figure kneeling beside a broken hatch. "Please, human," she croaked, her voice cracking with desperation. "My baby. She won't wake up. She's all I have left." The human rose slowly, war-scarred and exhausted. But his gaze softened. He wasn't a doctor. He wasn't even supposed to be here. But right now he was her only hope. The war had ended, or so they claimed. Treaties were signed, leaders exchanged forced smiles, and reconstruction had begun. But the scars remained, especially on fringe planets like Varelia, 4, where the wounds of battle bled longer, deeper. Commander Thane Walker hadn't come to Varelia for diplomacy or duty. He came to find silence, to escape memories that clawed at his dreams. He had rented a steel cabin on the edge of a ruined city, where twisted buildings and shattered statues stood like tombstones to a forgotten civilization. He thought he was alone. He wanted to be, until the night of the storm. Thunder cracked the skies as a magnetic pulse, likely a leftover war trap, fried the grid. Alarms blared in the distance. Thane, ex-infantry, responded on instinct. He grabbed his gear and moved toward the source. That's when he saw her. She was young by alien standards. Slender, with pale violet skin, elongated ears, and glowing amber eyes filled with panic. In her arms, wrapped in old fabric, was a tiny form, another of her kind. A child. Limp. Thane raised a hand, palm open. "I'm not here to hurt you." The alien woman fell to her knees, clutching the child tighter. "Please, human. My baby won't wake up. She's all I have left." He dropped beside her, checking for breath. Faint. Cold. Shallow. He cursed softly. "We need shelter. I have med supplies. Come on." She didn't hesitate. She followed the armored human through ash and rain, holding her daughter like glass. Thane laid the child on his cot and ripped open his medkit. He was no medic, but the basics of triage were muscle memory. He checked vitals, cleaned a faint gash along the girl's side, administered a stimulant. The woman stood nearby, hands trembling. "Name?" he asked gently. "Yalari," she said. "And my daughter is Mira." Mira stirred. A weak whimper. Eyelids fluttered. Yalari collapsed, sobbing. Thane stepped back, letting the mother gather her child into trembling arms. He busied himself making tea from his dwindling supplies. When she finally turned to him, her cheeks were streaked with tears. "You saved her. Lucky timing. She needs real care, though." Yalari shook her head. "There is no hospital. Not for us. Not after what your people did." He flinched. "I know," he said. "I was there. That's why I left." Days passed. Thane let them stay. Mira slowly regained strength, giggling softly as she played with pieces of his broken helmet. Yalari helped him forage and clean the cabin. They spoke little, but what passed between them wasn't silence. It was healing. One evening, as twin moons rose over the ruins, Yalari asked, "Why did you help us?" He didn't answer right away. Instead, he removed a worn holochip from his pocket and set it on the table. It flickered to life, displaying a human child's drawing, a family of 3 stick figures. Smiling. "My daughter," he said quietly. "She died during the siege of Alo's Prime. Friendly fire. My own side." Yalari stared. "After that, I couldn't fight anymore. Couldn't even live among them. So I came here. To forget." Yalari reached across the table and gently touched his hand. "Then perhaps, we found each other for a reason." Rumors spread that human soldiers still roamed the ruins, searching for hidden alien resistance. One night, Thane heard voices outside. Armed patrols. He hid Yalari and Mira beneath the floorboards. The soldiers entered, laughing. "Just a recluse," one muttered. "No threat." They drank from his water supply, insulted the locals, and left him with warnings about consorting with aliens. After they were gone, Yalari emerged, shaken. "We can't stay here," she whispered. "They'll come back." He nodded. "I know a place. Hidden. Safe. But it's far. 2 days on foot." Yalari glanced at Mira, now sleeping peacefully. "Then we go at dawn." The journey was brutal. Acid rain, predator beasts, old war mines. But Thane was relentless. He carried Mira when she tired, fought off scavengers, and navigated the ancient pathways like a ghost. On the second night, they camped near a shattered monolith. Yulari asked him to teach her how to shoot. He did. Mira watched with wide eyes, then smiled. Mama's strong. Thane smiled too. They reached the sanctuary, an old pre-war observatory deep in the mountains. Still operational. Still hidden. Inside were a few survivors, humans and aliens alike, living in uneasy peace. But they welcomed Thane, and they welcomed Yulari. Years passed. Mira grew strong and curious. Yulari found her voice again, singing songs of her people beneath alien stars. Thane built a small school, taught all the children what peace meant. One night, under the stars, Yulari turned to him. You gave us a second life, Thane. You lost your daughter, and still you saved mine. What? He looked down at the little girl curled at his side, breathing softly. Because no one should have to beg for their child to live. Not in any language. Not on any world. Yulari kissed his cheek. A gesture of her people. Of trust. Of beginning. The war was over. And so, finally, was the pain. They never left the sanctuary. They didn't need to. Because home isn't a flag, or a species, or a place. It's the people you choose to protect. And the family you build from the ashes.